Hi neighbors, Radio Goji here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. When we last left off, I got a bunch of mail from a Moogle, and apparently all of that were a bunch of like promotional items, and like other things that I had gotten over time on floofers that apparently apply to the entire account. Which does make me wonder what letters the Moogle had to send back. But so I got a bunch of stuff here. I'm gonna sort this out. So we got Fantasia. What a Fantasia does is it allows you to change your appearance. I'm not ever gonna use this, I don't think. I might just give it to floofers or something just to hold on to. I've got Ballroom and Etiquette and Proper Greetings. This will give me a new these Ballroom Etiquette books will give you emotes. So this will give me the fist bump emote. Gold chocobo feathers, which I got from like a invite a friend promotion. I still have no idea what these do. It's a mystery to me at this point. I got a bunch of minions, which I can like have follow me around. They don't do anything, but got one of a Moogle. So you just got to use the item, and then they'll be selectable from the little menu there. Got one of Odin. I have one of the Warrior of Light from Final Fantasy I. I have one of a Goblin, as they're depicted in Final Fantasies 11 and 14. One of Gilgamesh from Final Fantasy V. The reason why he's included here will be apparent much later. Wind up Nanamo, who will, again, we'll meet her later. Chocobo Chick Courier. So I got a little Chocobo carrot following me around. We got Kane from Final Fantasy IV. I got that one in particular for pre-ordering. It was either pre-ordering Heaven's Ward or having the collector's edition of Heaven's Ward. It was one of the two. Got a Wind Up Bart. This was from Final Fantasy V. This was for getting the collector's edition of Stormblood. I have a Fat Chocobo Whistle. No idea how I got this. I think this might have had something to do with veteran rewards or eventually getting the collector's edition of the main game. Drought Chocobo is a two-seater mount. So that's I got that from the Recruit a Friend campaign. I got a Griffin Horn. This was from Heaven's Ward in some capacity. I got a Sildra Horn. This was from the collector's edition for Stormblood. The Falcon, probably my favorite mount in the game. I actually got that from a special promotion a couple of years ago. An Aetheryte Pendulum, which I can use to... I don't think I've used the one on floofers yet either, but I got... This is part of the Recruit a Friend thing, where you can attune this to a friend, and then you can immediately warp to where they are. So that's cool. I'll hold on to that for now. Barding of Light. When I get a Chocobo, it's basically aesthetic armor for my Chocobo. I have 50 Aetheryte tickets, which I can use to teleport for free, and then Inquire Within, which is a wall-mounted piece of furniture featuring some characters we're not going to be seeing for quite some time. But this wasn't all I got. If I go to my armory chest, you'll see I also have a bunch of things here. Basically, through various means, I got a costumes based off of Cloud from Final Fantasy Advent Children, Firion from Final Fantasy II, Zidane from Final Fantasy IX, and Squall from Final Fantasy VIII. I've also got Goblin Cap and Fat Chocobo Head I got for some form of veteran rewards. Friendship Circlet is a thing that I got from, what do you call it, the Recruit a Friend campaign. And this will give me 20% more experience as long as I'm below level 25. I think one of the things that the Moogle sent back was the Helm of Light, which looks like the Warrior of Light from Final Fantasy I's helmet. That gives you some bonus experience as well as some bonus stats, and the bonus experience, however, only is good up until level 10, I think. And that looks really cool, so that would have been nice to have, but I'm not worried about it. I've got the Baron Circlet and the Baron Helm. These are based off of Cecil, Paladin Cecil and Dark Knight Cecil from Final Fantasy IV. Here's also the bandana from the Firion outfit. I've also got Cecil earrings and this ring here. Ring of Fidelity. I don't know how I got that. Do I not have this equipped? Because I can equip it. That helps. That's good. Oh, and I also got the chicken knife. The chicken knife is a rapier weapon, so it can only be used by red mages. Items like this that are level 1 and don't give any kind of stats, these are mainly used as glamour items. In fact, like all of these costumes and whatnot that I got are used as glamour items. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and equip that friendship circlet as well. And basically what glamour items are, they're basically just there for aesthetic. And when you get the glamour ability, you can use that to basically still have like the same, like the good gear that you want to have on, but make it look like the other kind of gear. So let's attune ourselves to this Ethernet shard while we're here. So we're going to go back to the Thaumaturge's Guild, now that we spent way too much time looking at the stuff that we got from the Moogle. I'll probably off-screen getting all of these Aetherites attuned, because having them all attuned is very useful. But yeah, we pretty much have to do the Thaumaturge stuff for now, because we need to get to level 4 in order to continue on with the story. So let's talk with the guild receptionist here. Well, adventurer, will you join our guild, or do you presume to ignore the urgings of impatient destiny? Technically, I could go and research a different class. Like, the Gladiators Guild is here, the Pugilists Guild is here. So if I changed my mind and I wanted to go Monk or Paladin, I could just go for that and just ignore Black Mage, but that's not what we're doing. We'll also get raisins for beating this quest, and a shield. Neato. Wise decision indeed. To prepare for your initiation, I would have you study the volumes of Fundamental Thaumaturgical Principle, all 108 of them. Don't have that time, bruh. Or at least I would, if such requirements had not been abolished. Too great a deterrent to fresh novices, they said. I suppose you shall have to settle for calling upon the collective wisdom of our guildmasters. We have 5, you see, all brothers of the same house. Though they all wield supreme authority, it is the eldest who provides a singular voice for the guild when one is required. Master Coco Bigo, I believe. Oh yeah, so these guys are all Coco something. They have like those kind of Taru names. Got Coco Buki, Coco Bezi, Coco Boha, Coco Bani, and Coco Bigo. So we're going to talk to you. Who? What? Oh, false teeth, man! Did your mother never tell you to start a? Did your mother tell you not to start? Never tell you not to startle a thaumaturge? I can't talk either. Sorry. Look at that inspected face, Coco Bigo. This gentleman is obviously a new applicant for the guild, seeking audience with our eldest brother. Oh, Prelate Yayake. She can recite the 307 verses of the funerary rites for the virtuous fallen from memory, but the simple task of keeping our names straight seems ever beyond her grasp. Well, I, for one, find the constant confusion endlessly entertaining. My apologies, good sir. My merriment was not meant to mock your mistake. It is our sibling Coco Buki with whom you should speak. So, what's this? Great Thal has led us to another aspirant. Ah, Coco Buki, were you here the entire time? Greetings, child. I am Coco Buki, the eldest, and, I would venture to say, the wisest of the 5 masters of the Thaumaturge's Guild. It is my solemn duty to furnish our would-be initiates with a succinct understanding of our beloved art. Thus, I would have your fullest attention. To wield thaumaturgy is to unleash devastation of the highest magnitude. The lethal force of our spells far exceeds the destructive capacity of any other form of arcane manipulation. Fire, lightning, blizzards, somnolence. The Thaumaturge calls upon an expansive arsenal of offensive incantations to incapacitate and obliterate all manner of adversaries. Open your mind to our sorcerer's teachings, and you, too, shall soon hold the unparalleled power of our discipline in the palm of your hand. Of course, such power has a price. You must be willing to plunge head first into the foreboding chasm of Thaumaturge's secrets, for advancement in this art comes only with the completion of deadly and terrible trials. I ask you now, aspirant, are you prepared to leap into the abyss in pursuit of power unrivaled? Sure. Could have worded that a little bit differently, but okay. A confident response. Your name, if you will. Very well, Floople, let us mark your initiation with a trial to test the limits of your aptitude for channeling thaumaturgy. Huge hornets, star marmots, and snapping shrews inhabit this land in abundance. Exercise your sorceress might and slay each of these creatures before returning to my side. One of the more, I would say, interesting things with Captain Floofers when he went through all this, in fact, in any part of the game, really, because you go by a, you know, you have a bi-nomenclature here. You know, people will refer to your first name and last name, and in most cases will refer to you by your first name. Well, Captain Floofers, his first name is Captain. So that means everyone calls him Captain. And I find that hilarious. How did I get that achievement? Okay, so a little bit of a thing there. You'll get achievements for doing certain things. Achievements will give you points that you can use to turn into some guy, and the guy will give you, you know, he can give you stuff for these points. I'm guessing that the map data is shared between all of your characters on your account. Because normally I would have to travel all over the place in order to unlock all of the map and get that achievement. Oh, also elemental gauge unlocked. These little class gauges, they were new with Stormblood. Here's mine right here. It's really not too... Well, I mean, I guess it's important. It helps you keep track of certain things, which I'll talk about later. Now, if I could, I would, you know, start showing off mounts and stuff like that, using mounts to go all over the place. But the thing is, I can't use mounts at the moment. I have to have my Chocobo unlocked first. Also, other mounts that I didn't get. The Behemoth mount and the Curl mount. I guess those were sent back from the Moogle. Anyway, gotta kill these guys. And the only spell we have is Blizzard. And if you notice, my gauge turned blue there. That means I'm in Umbral Ice mode. That will become important once I have the Fire spell, which should be soon enough here. I mean, we're going to be getting experience out the wazoo with this little headpiece I have. So it shouldn't be too long before the Fire spell becomes a thing. But basically, while I'm in Umbral Ice mode, it does affect my attack, my attack power a bit with my spells. But it does make it so that... oh, here you go. Umbral Ice and Astral Fire. Okay. So now I have a better way of... a better chance to explain this. So, when I cast a Fire spell, I go into Astral Fire mode. In Astral Fire mode, I do more damage, especially with my Fire spells. But I think my MP usage increases a bit. When I cast an Ice spell, I go into Umbral Ice mode, and while I'm in Umbral Ice mode, while my attack power isn't going to be as powerful, it will allow me to regenerate MP quicker. And the very basic mechanics of Thaumaturge and Black Mage basically revolve around having Astral Fire up and using your Fire spells to deal, you know, your damage. And then when you run out of MP, you swap over to Astral Ice mode, and just, you know, use your Ice spells to kind of keep that up. Not necessarily going for damage, but being in that state until your MP is refilled, then go back into Astral Fire mode again. Soon enough, we will have ways of easily swapping between the two, but for right now, if I cast the opposite element, it will cancel out whatever mode I'm in, and then casting again will put me in that mode. And as you saw my little elemental meter here, I'm probably going to change that to the simplified form because this is kind of in the way sometimes. Like when I was in Umbral Ice mode, it flashed blue, and if I'm in Astral Fire mode, it'll flash red. And then there's like a lot more to that particular gauge as I get more stuff, but I'll explain things as we go. Now, the enemies you see here, now this guy's not going to attack me, so don't worry. They've got, well, you know, what kind of, their name above their heads. They've also got their level and the little icon next to it. Now, the level is obviously what level they are, or what level you should be, or be able to take them on in confidence. I guess it depends on how far enough you are and like what class you are, whether or not you think you can take on stronger things. I'm not that confident because I'm a Thaumaturge. Thaumaturges are very squishy and don't have a lot of HP and such. But that little icon next to level 7, that's blue, so that means he's not aggressive. So he's not going to try to attack me unless I try to attack him. So I'm just going to leave him alone. Now we will come across enemies that do have red icons next to their names, and those guys are aggressive, and as long as you are within 10 levels above them, they will attack you. Also, getting achievements will usually give you experience, and discovering new locations will give you experience as well, so I don't think I'm going to be getting as many experience points from exploring, mainly due to the fact that well, as I explained, like all of these places I've already explored on floofers, so I don't know how that's going to affect things. This is the first time I've ever had an alt character in this game, so I'm still kind of learning what carries over and what doesn't. And luckily, most of the stuff over, or even around over here, isn't too aggressive. Oh, there's a Fate nearby. I'll explain Fates later. I'd rather not do them right now, but there's a Fate nearby. That's what that, I mean, we're gonna probably just pass just by it, just through it, but, it's like a spontaneous quest that pops up every once in a while. Okay, that's really all I had to explain of it, but, I don't like the Fate system that much. I mean, it's fine if you're leveling up in a particular area. You can use Fates to get pretty easy experience points, but it's not going to be as apparent with this particular Let's Play. But at very least with Captain Floofers, doing certain things in the base game or Realm Reborn areas, those are going to have you know, content locked behind Fates. And that leads to waiting for Fates to spawn. And I still haven't gotten the timing down on a lot of that, and I can wait sometimes upwards of an hour to an hour and a half waiting for something to spawn just to kill one thing. Alright, so we already killed the marmots back in the other zone. This is actually the zone that the game was trying to point us toward, because there's also bees around here, and the shrews we need as well. But as you can see, it's costing me more MP to cast my fire spell, less to cast the ice spell, I've noticed. Again, it's been a while since I've actually played as this class, but yeah, as long as Astral Fire is active, it does have the amount of MP used for ice spells, but it also doubles the amount used for fire spells. And just for science, just to kind of refresh my memory, does Umbral Ice... Okay, Umbral Ice just cuts MP in half for fire spells and doesn't affect ice spells at all. So it's good to keep in mind. As you can see, again, just straight up casting the opposite element will cancel out whatever mode you're in. But we'll get a transpose ability that will allow us just to swap between the two at will. I mean, not at will. There's still a recast time to it, but you know what I mean. Alright, and that's our 3 shrews done. So let's go talk to Kokobuki again. And see where to go from here. We're almost at level 3. So we're well on our way to getting back to the main story, I think. Usually when it comes to the class quests, you only... They basically come, at the very least in the Reborn side of things, they come about every 5 levels. So once we're done with this quest, we're not going to be able to take another Thaumaturge quest again until level 5. Which is fine, because we need to be level 4 to get to the next story quest and, you know, all that. There's me repeating myself again. But yeah, the experience we get from the... where I'm getting at is the experience we get from the main story quest will probably, hopefully, help out quite a bit in getting to level 5 Thaumaturge to go on with that. And it's a good idea to do your class and job quests as they come up, as soon as you can, because you will also get abilities through these. And they are abilities that, especially if when you do all the multiplayer stuff, like your instant duties and such, they will be, you know, people will expect you to have those. You have a satisfied look of a mage who has utterly vanquished his foes. Flupel, I formally welcome you to the Brotherhood of Thaumaturges. The purpose of this trial was to gauge your capacity for wielding thaumaturgy, an innate quality, the limits of which are bound by the level of etheric energy flowing through your physical being. Ether, the very stuff of life, exists within all living creatures to a greater or lesser extent. Remember this, for it is the most basic law of arcane manipulation. Now, I have here a tome that will that shall serve you as a hunting log. This is going to help too. As the name suggests, its pages are to be filled with records of the enemies you slay. The log also contains the name of such adversaries that will challenge and improve your skills as a thaumaturge. As your experience grows, so shall your reserves of thaumaturgical endurance. The wellspring of your magical might will also swell in response to moments of extreme terror and duress. When you find yourself seeking greater challenge, when you next crave the thrill of exquisite fear, that is when you shall know the time has come for you to visit me once more. And once we get to level 5, we'll get to go on. Next one, we got level 3. We got our hunting log. And the hunting log is basically a way to get fairly easy experience. And you have hunting logs for every class, not just Thaumaturge. I think you just kind of get them as you unlock the other classes. But yeah, once you level up more, you'll get other ranks, and this will go up to, I think, level 30 or level 40. Okay. But still, that's going to be good experience for us, and it'll help out at least in building up the experience that we're going to need to get through the main story quests here. Because, as I've implied, every quest has a minimum level requirement. They may have some other requirements too. But you usually have to be, obviously, at a particular level before you take stuff on. So I'm going to go ahead and start filling out this hunting log, why not? It's the main thing we can do right now. We should also equip that shield, because we've got a shield. So this is going to be one of the rare times you're going to actually see me use a shield in this game. After a while, I'm just going to start using, like, two-handed weapons. And for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and set my hunting log to the crossbar here. Let me go to actions and traits, and you can pretty much just, like, find almost anything, really, and put it on your hotbar. So we're going to get transpose at level 4. That's the thing I was talking about earlier, then, thunder and stuff like that. And when we get our Black Mage job, you'll see more stuff open up that we can get. Also got traits we can get. General. No. Main commands. Hunting log. Logs. Here we go. So we can set hunting log to the hotbar. I'm going to set it over here. So we don't have to go into the menu every time. This isn't something I'm going to do with every single one of these sort of things, but for the time being, again, because I don't have that many abilities to equip onto the crossbar, I'm not going to worry too much about optimizing this right now. And our hunt targets are actually marked by these little sort of swirly marks above the monster's name. So we can kill some ladybugs here. And then we need to kill 3 of them. And not only will you get experience for killing the monsters, but once you fill out an entry in the log, you'll get bonus experience for that. And once you fill out a whole grade of, like a whole rank, I should say. Once you fill out a whole rank, you'll get bonus experience for that as well. So, yeah. Great for getting experience. So got the ladybugs out of the way. And then there's huge hornets, which were near the front of the other entrance, as well as snapping shrews. You can get those pretty much right away. Cactuars are also nearby the town. We've seen Searfrid clouds before. I'm going to wait a little bit on them because they were level 7. So, I mean, obviously, as you go up in the entries, they do get to be stronger enemies. But the first 4 entries, at the very least, are all like right near the entrances to the city. So we can very easily dispatch those enemies. And I think I think Cactuars are around here because we're in the 80 Sins of Sasumo. So that's where that popped up. We also have a level 12 giant tortoise here, but it'll leave us alone as long as we leave it alone. Sometimes enemies can link as well, if you, especially in like the, a lot of the expansion areas will do that. If you are nearby, and like if you attack certain enemies, like nearby enemies will join in and attack you as well. That's going to be something to look out for. Also, when we get to the expansion areas, you'll notice that we stop seeing things that are docile. So that's kind of going to suck, but that's not going to be until... Well, no, I don't want to cast that. I want to cast this. So I can get my MP back. Once the Cactuar's done. And now I really wish I could use mounts. But that's okay. I'm instead going to go and head inside and then use the aetheryte to go out the other gate. Because that'll be quicker, don't you know? I hope it'll be quicker. You know me, I talk out of my ass quite a bit. So, I don't know. We shall see. I do kind of want to have 5 parts of this for the coming week, but I'll probably only do like 4 parts tonight, and I may do like a 5th part on like Saturday or something, I don't know. Depending on how this turns out. Maybe I'll just do like another section of, another session of stuff, and more stuff to put up basically at a time. I mean, not at a time, but I don't even know where I was going with that. Have more backup stuff, because this was, like I said, this was kind of a backup plan. Because the way Greg's schedule is, since we're playing Ocarina of Time, he basically has plans every other Thursday now, because he's with the youth band at his church. Youth band. He's like in his 30s. I don't know. His church band. Oh, I guess the, okay. I guess it's when you attune to all the aetheryte shards that you can select exits. But it doesn't matter because the exit's right over here. I'm an idiot. But anyway, the band practice for the church band is every other Thursday. And but the thing is, he was supposed to come over tonight, but then family stuff happened, so he wasn't able to. And that's why I'm playing this. So this was probably going to be like, if we weren't able to reschedule that week, I could, have a backup plan and play this. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and cut the video. And when we come back, more hunts. And then we'll get level 4 and continue on with the story a bit. So until then, I've been Rado Goji, and I'll be here next time. Join me, won't you?